A confessional was never meant to hold the body, only words, and yet that's where they found him. This is the final chapter of The Priest, the absolution no one gave. In the weeks before his death, the priest changed. Not outwardly, not in any way you'd notice. He just became careful. He started giving away his books, burning old notes, but destroying nothing important. It was strange. He attended confession less often, but when he did, he listened longer and spoke softer. It was as if he were preparing, not for death, but for a presentation. He wasn't planning to disappear. He was planning to be seen. He constructed the garments himself. White fabric, wire, paper feathers. Not crude or rushed, but meticulous. Identical to the angels he had left behind in the other killings, but altered, smaller, closer, personal. This time the body would not be anonymous. The church opened at dawn. By mid-morning it was sealed. He was found seated inside the confessional on the priest's side, dressed in white. His wings were folded behind him, his head bowed. There was no sign of a struggle, no note visible, no interruption. He had chosen the smallest, most private room to make the most public statement of his life. But the confession wasn't written. Police searched the church. They found nothing theatrical, nothing dramatic, just a man who had died exactly where others once begged to be forgiven. And something else, something in his pocket. It was a small recorder, old, analog, deliberate. The church kept no records of confessions, no transcripts, no documentation of any kind. And yet here was a voice, his voice, on a tape labeled with a single word. Listen. No one pressed play immediately. The tape was uninterrupted. No edits, no pauses, just one continuous confession. Not emotional or frantic, calm, measured, prepared. He began by naming himself, not his legal name, but his spiritual one. On the tape, he confessed to everything, the angels, the selections, the belief that death completed repentance. He spoke of his victims not as names, but as moments. Moments when someone asked, "Can I still be forgiven?" And he answered with absolute certainty. He never once used the word murder. He said he recorded the confession not for the police, not for the church, but because confession requires a witness, and he no longer trusted silence. The tape was real. The voice was verified. The case was solved. And yet nothing was undone. Families received answers far too late. Justice arrived with no one left to punish. The church released statements. The city held forums. The media called it closure. But closure requires relief, and this offered none, because forgiveness had already been claimed. The confessional was dismantled, the room repurposed, the church renovated, but somewhere that tape still exists. A voice confessing without interruption. A man who believed redemption could be administered by force, and who chose to grant it to himself. Some killers run, some hide, and some stay exactly where we expect them to be, wearing trust, speaking softly, listening carefully. The most dangerous confession is the one that arrives after forgiveness no longer matters. Some confessions don't save the soul. They only explain why it was lost. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more mystery series.